Hi, my name is Megan Basso, and for homework 4, I did Chapter 15, Question 2. In what ways are humans affected by agricultural practices that promote bacterial resistance? Antibiotics have been used in food for decades, but in 2017, the FDA finally banned the use of antibiotics that are important for human medicine as livestock growth enhancers. And this ban was due to the fact that many studies were showing that humans were developing resistance to these antibiotics because they were being used in the food and then we were ingesting that food. Some of these antibiotics included penicillin, vancomycin, and more. There's a whole long list of them that have been banned. But even with this ban, the FDA still allows some antibiotics to be used that are not approved for human use for livestock growth enhancers. So the problem with the FDA allowing these antibiotics to be used still as livestock growth enhancers is that cross-resistance is beginning to develop between humans and these antibiotics that are supposed to be used for animals. These cross-resistant strains are being introduced to humans by the food that we eat, the environment, cross-handling meat and touching animals, through vegetables that might have been exposed to animal products, and more. This is just a little graphic from the CDC explaining resistance and antibiotic resistance and how it affects humans. Basically, it's showing how antibiotics are given to animals, and then in those animals, the most resistant and strongest bacteria end up surviving, and that strong resistant bacteria gets transferred to our food, to our crops, gets cross-contaminated with other things from, handling animal products and whatnot in the environment. We then ingest that resistant bacteria and aren't able to fight it off because we don't have, it ends up being too resistant to our antibiotics and to our immune system. And, when that happens, you could have a mild illness or you could get really sick and eventually die. There's a lot of evidence for this. These cross-resistant strains developing, and it's been seen a lot in occupational workers and their families. And the reason that they're seen in such small populations is because it's hard to track on a larger scale. The modern food chain is very complex, and this makes it difficult to track individual diseases through it. These are some of the antibiotics that are used in animals and what they represent, how the structurally related antibiotics that can cause cross-resistance in humans, and these are available in the United States. There was a whole list of them. Some of them weren't available in the United States, but these specifically are. So, for example, neomycin, it targets gram-positive and negative organisms, and it is used in human medicine, and structurally related antibiotics are gentamicin and aminoglycosides. Then this is just some evidence of how they've been tracking the resistance between animal use of antibiotics and how it transfers into human antibiotic resistance. So, for example, they tracked E. coli that was that was from chickens in the United States. They ended up finding it in farmers and their families, and the resistance represented tetracycline. And the evidence here on the chart just shows exactly how they tracked that. And here are my sources. Thank you very much.